Now, one of the new widgets that we've provided is called the splitbar widget, and the splitbar widget divides the window into pieces and can be moved, moving the areas on either side. In the 8.1, there was an example where a splitbar widget was created from scratch, and if you look at the 8.1 Navigator example, 2 panes with a draggable divider, you can see that. In 8.2, it's a much simpler example because the splitbar widget does exactly what the from scratch software did in 8.1. And I'm going to show you this in a minute, but here's the Navigator example. This is exactly what it did. It displays this window. The split bar is that vertical red line in the center, and there is 2 images on either side. The vertical red line is movable, and if you move it one way, the circle turns into an ellipse, and we get a rearrangement of this sort of optical illusion effect picture here. If you move it the other way, the circle turns into a ellipse with the major axis vertical and sort of an egg shape, and the diagram extends in the other direction. Let's look at a sort of more serious example that might be more useful. So on a dialog, we place 4 widgets: a multi-line editable text widget, a button widget, then we put a split bar, and then we put a single item list. And the split bar widget has 2 properties: widgets to resize and widgets to move. And we put the text and the single item list in the widgets to resize list, and we put the button in the widgets to move list, and we also make sure the split bar is visible. So let's go look at this in action here. So here's the dialog that we're constructing. And here at the top is a multi-line editable text. Then there's the button. Here's the split bar right here. And here is the single item list. And let's inspect the split bar. So I've done the changes here. There are 3 color properties. The color when under the mouse, which I've said should be blue, when dragging should be yellow, and when idle should be red. And then if we go down to the bottom, the widgets to move are, and this is a list of names of widgets, and so I gave things simple names in order to make it easy to type. The widgets to move are the button, and the widgets to resize are the multi-line editable text and the single item list. So let's go back here and run this form, and there we go. So I also made the background of the dialog white. Here's the split bar. And you notice it's red, which is what we specified as its general color, color when idle. And then when the mouse is over it, it turns to blue. And notice the cursor also changes. And then when we click on the mouse and actually drag the split bar, it turns to yellow. Meanwhile, notice that the single line editable text and the multi-line editable text and the single item list are being resized as the split bar moves, while the button, which was the widget to move, is simply moving up and down in concert with the split bar, but is not changing its size. So that's the difference between those 2 features. And I have another example here just to show you this color effect. So let's run that form. This is the run form icon up here. So the split bar has disappeared. You can't see it. And the only indication it's there is as you move the cursor around, the moment it's over the split bar, it changes to the horizontal split bar cursor that tells you that here is where the split bar is. If you now click, you can now move it up and down, and you notice that when you did click, the color when dragging is gray, and so I'm moving it up and down. Now there's no changes because I didn't put any other dialogues on this. Let's just quickly inspect actually inspect the split bar here. So color under mouse is T, color when dragging is nil, and color when idle is T. These are codes that mean be the same as the background color as the parent is what T means, and nil means don't be the same as the background color as of the parent. And the cursor is specified here, horizontal split bar cursor. So those are the features of the split bar, and I've just given you this demonstration, but showing you the dialog that I just demonstrated. And you can use split bars with window panes, as is done in the Navigator example, and with window panes you typically don't have any space. You have the window panes flush one with the other and the split bar between them, so you can basically increase the size of one and decrease the size of the other of the child windows. With widgets, you typically have some space between the widgets and insert the split bar midway between them, which is what we did with the dialog example with the 3 widgets. And as I said, you can specify these 3 colors depending on whether you want it visible at all times or whether you don't want it visible except when the mouse is over it and when you're dragging.